Alright, so to start off the year, we are going to answer the most famous question asked in math classes around the world. What do you think that question is?
Why do we need to learn math?
Oh, you guys are so good, okay? At some point in your life, in your math classes, I'm sure most of you have asked that question. Something similar to it, like, why do I ever need to learn this topic? When will I ever use this? Has anybody ever asked that? Raise your hand. Okay. Give me an example of a concept that you were learning that you asked that question. Mr. Carroll or Mr. blah blah blah, whoever your teacher was last year.
Why do we have to use fractions instead of decimals?
Exactly. You're like, I hate fractions. Why do I ever need to use fractions? Because I can just pull out what instead? A calculator, right? So you ask this question, and maybe because of that, you don't pay attention as much, or you're like, oh, I don't really like math because it forces us to do things that don't seem important. Okay? So we're going to tackle this question and hopefully give you a greater appreciation of why it is we learn the things we do. Okay? Why do they force you to be in math class? Right? Because you have to be in math class. It's not optional. If it were optional, I bet some of you probably wouldn't take it because you're like, well, I'm not going to be a math teacher or use math in my life any time. You know, I know how to add, subtract, multiply, divide. That's all you really need, right? Right?
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. Okay. So let's take a look at why you need to learn math. We're going to look at 4 reasons. First, teaches you the art of critical thinking. What's critical thinking?
Thinking critically.
Smart. Thinking critically. Okay? Let's take a look. There's an organization called the National Council for Excellence in Critical Thinking. How many of you have heard of that council? I am the president of that council. I'm not really. Okay? So, it's defined as this. Critical thinking is the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating information gathered from or generated by observation, experience, reflection, reasoning, or communication, using this as a guide to belief and action. How many of you guys in your job someday think that you'll probably have to use your brains to think about things? Oh, okay. So, you may not use some random fraction concept or the quadratic formula or how to graph a linear function, but what our goal in teaching you math, going through problems, going through procedures, is teaching you how to look at a problem and think critically. Let's do an example per se. What's everybody's least favorite type of problems in math class?
Word problems.
Word problems. I like to call them fun problems because for me, I go home on Friday nights and I'm like, hey, let's do some math problems. Let's do some word problems, right? Not really. Maybe sometimes. So, given that word problem, what do you have to do with that problem? Does the equation or the problem just jump out at you?
Yeah.
No. Some maybe if you're like just a genius, but you have to take that word problem and you have to conceptualize it. You have to say, okay, what concept are they talking about here? Do I need to add the numbers together? Do I need to subtract them? Do I need to form an equation? Do I need to graph them? Once you do that, you then apply the formula or concept that you've learned to the problem, okay? I like to call what you guys have a math tool belt. Everybody look down your math tool belt. Whoa, I didn't know I had one there. Okay, see it, Charles? You guys have tools in your math tool belt that you've been collecting over the past 8 years of school, okay? You are then going to apply one of those tools from your belt to that problem, okay? You're going to analyze the information in there. What do sometimes those authors of those pesky word problems give you in those word problems?
Words.
Yeah, there are a lot of words, and I don't like words because I don't like to read books. What else do they give you? What kind of information in there?
Numbers.
Numbers. Do you use all those numbers?
No.
Sometimes they give you what?
Decoys.
Decoys. They give you extra information that you don't use. Why do they do that? Just to troll you, just to mess with you, right?
To make you think critically and make good decisions.
Ah, yes. Okay. In life, when you guys have a job someday, do you think you're gonna have jobs and there's just like a word problem where then you have to look at it and figure it out?
No.
A
No.
very long and complicated word.
You have to come up with the problem yourself. You have to, like they say here, collect the data by either observation, experience, reflection. Somebody's gonna get that data for you. Or maybe you're gonna collect it yourselves by doing some kind of survey or poll.
The giver.
You with me? With me, Justin? Thank you. Okay? You are going to collect that data. With that data, they're then going to say, oh, this is the concept behind that data. Do this with that data. No, you have to analyze it. You have to evaluate it and figure out what are you doing. Are you trying to project the growth of a company? Are you trying to use that then to help figure out what products to launch, what products to sell? Okay? That is what we're trying to teach you how to do. Through the problems we do in this class. We're trying to teach you how to use your brain. I guarantee you, every one of you are going to go into a job someday where you have to use your brain. Well, maybe not Jeremy. No, I'm just kidding, Jeremy. Okay? Unless you're going to be a test dummy where they just do things to you, you're going to have to use your brain. You going to use your brain, Jeremy? I see that. I see that brain. You got a nice sized brain. I can see through your head. You're going to use it someday. All right? That is one reason why we learn math. Okay? Next one teaches you how to solve problems using what's called deductive reasoning. Okay? Who knows what deductive reasoning is? Reasoning deductively. Oh, you guys are so good. Okay? You must be the verbal linguistics multiple intelligence, aren't you?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so. All right. Okay. Deductive reasoning. Anybody? Some people yesterday were like, oh, I learned that at my CQI camp this summer. Okay? So, deductive reasoning is taking known information or general statements, combining those together, going through a logical step-by-step process, and then coming up with a for sure known conclusion. Okay? Question? Yes. It's Sherlock Holmes, he uses some deductive reasoning, but most of his reasoning is actually inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning, you're oftentimes taking observations and you are putting this together to make an educated guess. Like, he sees all these things, right? Exactly. But sometimes he's wrong, right? But deductive reasoning is taking things that you know for sure and you can come up with a for sure conclusion. If you use deductive reasoning, you're never wrong. Okay? And so that's what we do with our word problems. We find that problem and we take the information known and go through step by step until I have a solution. Where else can you maybe use deductive reasoning? What kind of problems do you guys have as 8th graders? Besides math problems. Do you guys have problems?
Yeah.
You guys have problem-filled lives? Yeah, siblings, right? How many of you ever had a fight or argument with your brothers or your parents? Okay, guess what? By using deductive reasoning, it teaches you how to solve an argument and go through it in a nice, organized way so that you will be more heard. So let's say you want to get a smartphone and you go to your parents and you say, give me a smartphone. How are they going to respond?
No.
Probably not good. But let's say you go through, here's an example of deductive reasoning. Mr. Muir communicates with his students through WeChat. I can only use WeChat through a smartphone. Therefore, I think you should get me a smartphone. Okay? What are they going to be more apt to listen to?
More people.
Yeah, okay? You guys are going to have problems. We want to teach you how to solve problems, not just math problems, but in life, okay? When Charles, is having some girl problems, and, he's trying to figure out what girl to ask to the dance, okay? He's going to go through some deductive reasoning to help him, okay? All right? When Rachel here is having some hair problems, and she's like, I want to make sure it's soft and fluffy, but not too, the wind messes it up. And she's going to go through and think about how to solve that problem in her life. Okay? Okay? Same thing with Justin. He wants to make his hair, make sure it's nice and fluffy as well. Okay? So, we're going to teach you how to think critically.
This our life.
Exactly. We're going to teach you how to think critically. We're going to teach you how to solve problems. Those are skills that no matter what you go to, hopefully you will always use. Okay? Next up, what you learn each year in math class, I want you to picture like the building blocks for your math in years to come. Okay? Picture like this. In first grade, what do you start learning? Addition, subtraction, right? Maybe if you're like advanced math, maybe a little more algebra. Okay? But yeah. you learn those building blocks.
I see how you're
So, Justin, now, whenever you comes to like adding, subtracting, are you having to like think back to all those little rules? It just pretty comes like naturally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay? Just like that, the things you do now, it may seem difficult or hard, but when you're in 11th, 12th grade, it's gonna just come naturally, okay? So some concepts, I always try to show you like the application behind it. So I'll be like, you know, this is how you can apply it in the real world, but there's some just random concepts in math, honestly, where I'm like, you cannot use this in the real life. But oftentimes it's a building block for later on, when you get to 11th and 12th grade. Or if you don't have that building block, you won't be able to do the 11th and 12th grade math. And that's what has the application, okay? So sometimes you're like, I don't need to learn this. Picture it as for your future. It's a building block for later on, okay? I like to use a sports analogy, okay? I like to play basketball, coach basketball, okay? Charles, when you first started learning playing basketball, did you jump straight into a 5-on-5 basketball game? No. If you ever watched little kids play 5-on-5 basketball, what does it look like?
They stand around.
Crazy, right? They're running around, okay?
So good.
Double dribbling, okay? Like, it basically is just like a big swarm of kids all in one spot following around the ball, okay? I was teaching my son some basketball this weekend. Start off with the basics. What are some basic things you first understand?
Dribbling.
Even before that.
Crossover.
My son was dribbling, and then he pick it up and dribble again. I didn't teach him what?
Rules.
The rules, okay? In math, think back, you learn basic rules. What are some rules of math that you always come up, but now they just come naturally? Rhymes with shmamunitive.
Commutative.
Commutative properties, right? What are some other properties? Associative property, distributive property, okay? Now when you do those, it just comes naturally, right? You don't even think about it. Just like basketball. When I'm dribbling now, okay, I don't dribble and then go, let me think what are my rules. Oh, yep, if I dribble, that's called double dribble. Oh, wait, no, I can't dribble. And then I pass the ball. No, it just comes naturally, okay? You guys then, after you learn the rules in basketball, what do you learn to do?
Play.
Maybe dribble a little bit, right? Dribble left hand, right hand, passing, okay? Now you're getting into some multiplication and division, right? The next steps, okay? Then you guys are maybe at where you're at now. You're learning to shoot, after you learn layups, you learn layups, maybe a little three-pointer action, maybe some free throws, okay? That's where you guys are at right now. We're preparing you for some 5-on-5 basketball, which is gonna be your high school, maybe college, maybe some of you going into math careers. That's the 5-on-5, where you're ready to play a real game, okay? So that, I want you to picture it like that, building blocks for years to come, okay? Lastly, my hope is that some of you someday will go into a math career, okay? Some of you already are like, yeah, I think I want to be some sort of like engineer, or I want to be, you know, some kind of scientist that uses math. Some of you are doing some engineering electives. Anybody in the engineering electives here? Okay, all right, good, okay? Some of you are like, I'd never go into a math career. But I bet you don't even know what math jobs are out there. When you think of math jobs, what are some math jobs you think of? Teacher, what else? I don't know. But guess what? I was the same way. When I was in school, my teachers never really told me what kind of jobs I could use math for. I always just thought I could be a math teacher, okay? I love being a math teacher, but I want you guys to be real math people. Teacher's not a real job, okay? I want you to be, hopefully, going into some math careers. So I'm going to show you some math careers here in just a minute. First, I want to see and show you what math employment could look like for you. So, read that for me, Andrew.
Employment of mathematicians is projected to grow 21% from 2014 to 2024, much faster than the average for all occupations. Businesses will need mathematicians to analyze the increasing volume of digital and electronic data.
All right, so this is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Math jobs are expected to grow 21% over the next 8 years, okay? Which is much higher than the average, all right? Our world, our society is getting so technologically advanced where we're using basically technology for everything. With that, there's tons of data that has to be analyzed and processed, and they need mathematicians to do so. When you get to high school. I think it might even be a middle school elective this year. It's called a big data, okay,
Yeah.
where they're looking at exactly what they're talking about here. I encourage you to take a look at that if you're interested. All right? What do you think the average salary is for a mathematician? Raise your hand. What do you think? Anybody? What do you think, Jeremy?
About
$500 a year? That would be not much to live on. 50,000? Cal, what do you think?
130,000.
130,000? Oh, I got well all over the place. What do you think, Isabel? 140,000? 100,000? All right, you guys if you average all your answers out, except for Jeremy's, you're pretty close, okay? The median annual wage for mathematicians was $111,110 in May 2015. So,
U.S. dollars? Or
U.S. dollars. Okay, so RMB, that's about, 700,000 RMB. So, pretty well-paid job, all right? A lot of people don't realize that, that's a pretty good job, okay? Here are some math careers. I want you to take a look at these. I want you to count up how many of them you've actually heard of.
Two, three, one, four, two,
Four,
five,
five,
six, four.
All right, there's 12 jobs up there. How many of you have never heard of like 6 or more of those? Okay, I'd never heard of these until I started teaching math and was saying, oh, what can my students use these for? All right, actuary. Anybody know what an actuary is?
Like if you watch the movie Zootopia, in the beginning there's like that.
Yeah, in the movie Zootopia, the kid's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? He's like, I want to be an actuary. Okay, but you're like, wait, what is that? I don't even know. But yeah, so it's a random math job. It's one of the highest paying math jobs that most people don't even know about. Okay, lots of these. Some are engineering. Okay, but yeah, we don't even know what these jobs are. So some of you, and you're saying, oh, I don't want to go into a math career. Well, you don't even know what the math careers are. So what we're going to do to start off this year, we're going to do a little math careers research project. We are going to research together some of these careers. And we're going to then do a presentation to the class to show us what is available. My hope is that someday, whenever you go into the workforce, one of you will do one of these jobs. And you'll look back and say, I just want to thank my 8th grade math teacher, Mr. Muir, for inspiring me to become what I am today. And then you'll give me 10% of your check every month. And I will gladly accept it. So, let's take a look at what this project will look like.